Well, hello everybody. It is I, Pulius Drew, here to talk about this amazing figure right here. Now, I don't even think I even need to name this thing. I think you all recognize what it is. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go from the alt mode here. We're going to go to robot mode, and then if I have time, I'll go back to alt mode. All right. So you can see that it's very accurate to the character that it represents. It's got pretty good articulation. The arms go up and down, and you can bend at the elbow. It's got the mid-bicep swivel. Pretty nice. It's got a deep knee bend. Can almost go back, doubling up the legs, but not quite. But you make compromises for highly accurate figures like this. The head swivels. And it has a little bit of a down, better up. It does have butterfly shoulders, which is nice. Allows it to reach across his chest if you want it to, which is nice. Hey, Rufus and Fazbear, how's it going? I was just reviewing this figure here. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to open up the chest. And then you need to extract this part out. Now, I mean, a lot of people might do that later. But I like to do it now just to get it out of the way. Because you got to open up the chest anyway, of course, to get the shoulders articulated. Anyway, and then you pull the shoulders back. And I like to, this is a little bit like parts parking, but I like to go back 45 degrees and leave it like that. So it just stays out of the way of the stomach transformation. All right, and then we pull out this part, we turn it over, and then we put it back. It's just simple like that. A lot of people do it differently, and I don't like it. This is a more clean way to do it. Now we can rotate at the waist. I'm just going to leave the top of the body facing forward. And then you can put the legs together. Could have done that earlier, but it's no big deal. I like to focus on the legs now that we've got the top prepped. And then just going to lay it down here. And then you see the foot has like a panel that opens up here. Not even in the instructions. You just have to know about this somehow. And it makes it a lot easier to flip the toes in. I'm just going to do it over on the other leg too. Just flipping the toe. And then the heel comes up. There we go. And so you can see it's starting to look like it's alt mode. And then we can collapse the feet in. And then we can, I'm just going to rotate it this way so you can see it better. And then you open up panels on the front of the leg. And then the legs kind of accordion into the cavity there. And then you can close them back up. All right. So we've got the legs done except for the tanks. We're just going to leave those alone for now because they have to pin into the other part. And we'll refocus on the upper body now. So remember, we left the arms back. And that makes it easier to flip over the front. And now we can focus on getting the head put away. And we just pull the back panel open and we put the head away. And then we put the panel back. And now the arms can fit this direction. And then we fold them up like this. And then we can rotate. You can see now that's the front of the vehicle, you know. And we rotate that back like this. All right. And then we lay it down. And then we have to just trim up a few bits here. So we flip out the mirrors. And then we, oh shit, I forgot this part. You gotta flip this panel around here. There we go. Should have done it earlier. Later on when I do the stop motion, I'll have the sequence worked out properly. And then we collapse that part. And that's pretty much it. It's gorgeous. I mean, it's such an accurate representation of the alt mode. It doesn't have a lot of kibble at all. And that's where we stand. Is it April Fool's? I didn't realize. Well, I didn't do Earthrise Prime's transformation. I was just kind of holding like various MP primes in my mind. I think you could tell it was a truck. Anyway, so here's Earthrise Prime. You know, this is a really good figure. Putting on my serious hat now. I'm not kidding anymore. I'm sorry. Boy, is that too bright. I'm going to bring the exposure down. No. I'm going to bring the brightness down? No. I'm going to bring the contrast down. No. I'm going to bring the... Ugh! I'll bring the gain down. No. Well, I can't win. I'm going to bring the exposure down. That's a little better. All right. I like Earthrise Prime, even though they decided, you know, like they designed it and then they got to the wheels and they were like, oh, shit. We forgot the wheels. It's interesting. I brought along Siege Prime as a comparison. Because oddly enough, Earthrise Prime actually borrows components from Siege Prime. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does. You can see the front panels are be gone! This one sits on a shelf and not a case, so it gets a little dusty over time. Oh well. But you can see they cleaned up how the upper body goes, because Siege Prime certainly has a lot of kibble on the arms. But you can see the legs are actually identically the same component. They replaced the inner part, so this part here has been replaced, whereas here it's actually a flipping panel. Flipping panel, man. There's actually a hinge joint here that's not used, but it's the same mold. So they use the same leg part. Right down to, like, in the back here, when this flips open, this is hinged. And there's like a pin here. And on this one, it's held together by a pin. So, and of course the trailer hitch on this one pops out of here. And then you have this, it's asymmetrical because the legs turn around on this one. The legs actually turn around and the two halves of this hitch actually join together. This one has exactly the same hitch components, but the legs don't turn around, so you never bring them together like that. It is so weird that they recycled the fronts of the legs for this figure. I can't even understand why. Was that big a savings? Because it's like they almost had to completely retool. You know, there's this back part added and the inside part added. And yet, for some reason, it's the exact same front of the leg. Painted better, frankly. I hated the schmutz they put on the Siege figures. The weathering. It was garbage. What a stupid idea. And they actually used the same head, it seems, painted differently. This painting's a little better because this guy's got like blue eyes on a blue background, and this guy at least has silver background around his eyes. Pretty odd, though. Pretty odd they're both the same. Yeah, air in a can, man. Dust remover. It's got a bitterant in it. Keeps me from getting hooked on inhaling it. You know, I never did Siege Prime in any form. I actually planned this out quite a few times, but never got around to shooting it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do Siege Prime. I'll see what people say. So for now, I'll leave it kind of a mystery in case people get super excited about me doing Siege Prime. I'm kind of in a doldrum now because I don't have anything coming. The only thing I have coming is the add-on parts for the MMC Bruticus combiner, and I'm a little stumped as to how I'm going to show that in stop motion. But, I mean, part of the agreement I have with Show Z is that I make videos of things that I get. Like, how do I make a video of that? I thought about just showing, like, the replacement of the chest, like, you know, just levitate the parts and have a little fun with having parts levitation and stop motion. And, of course, the feet kind of transform, so I guess I can show that. It won't be a very complicated or long video, but maybe I'll have a little fun with parts levitation. But as you saw in the video, we just kind of put him in a T pose here so that he's ready to go. And then we can flip out the wheels and flip down the grill and then rotate the whole upper body around. This is my favorite part. It really reminds me of Transformers Prime Viacon. The way it rolls up like this. But you pop this up and you pop that layer up and then you flip out these panels. There we go. And then you can flip the whole thing down and down. He does have a matrix. I showed that off in the video. Just get these out of the way for a second. He does have a matrix. And it can actually come out. It's just a little hard to pry out of there. Anyway, so we'll go around to the back. You have to close these side pieces towards the back there. You put the head away. Put the arms back. And now we can flip the hands away. Hello. And fold, 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 fold. There's actually a little bit of a tab there because of the way the sides work, so you have to just kind of make sure the arm ends up behind the tab. And I find that when I go to pull the arm out, it actually kind of opens up the arm panel. Not the end of the world, but it do. And then you can fold these up. And then we can flip up the bizarre pieces here. Fold the whole thing down. Close these panels. Close up the feet. Bam, you got yourself Optimus Prime. His gun actually folds in half and can store behind his trailer or his cab. And he comes with this garbage trailer. So let's show that off. People are like, how come the trailer wasn't in the video? Because it's stupid. That's why. But there's the trailer. It's too small for the cab. Oh, I forgot to put the tanks out. I'm going to Transformer hell. He has like the tanks that pop out kind of like Bumblebee Prime. There you go. Since we didn't feature it, let's look at the trailer. It's got garbage hollow wheel construction. It flips open. It's got molded details and just no paint at all. This part can come out and be like a shield if you like that sort of thing. It does have like this little rover guy. He can detach. In fact, he'll readily do so. He can lift up if it's like in base mode. He does articulate a little bit. There you go. Articulates. And no, I didn't forget wheelie. It didn't come with wheelie. It didn't come with wheelie. So that doesn't make any sense. So there's your stupid trailer. Now you've seen it. It's got, you know, the trailer strut. And there's a trailer. Isn't that wonderful? Hope I'm not rushing. I'm gonna check the explanation, the dialogue here. Air in a can, space mud. I never know space mud, right? I never noticed the similarities between ER Prime and Siege Prime until you pointed it out. Yeah, it's really the legs. The legs are very similar. A lot of it's similar. Siege Prime has such a different cab and truck mode, but it doesn't reflect in bot, and I think it should have. Truck, yeah, I know. Do you have the Studio Series Dark of the Moon Prime with the trailer? I heard there are several upgrades available for it. Oh, yeah. I have that trailer. It's stupid. Roller or wheelie? Did I say wheelie? I'm sorry. I meant roller. I guess I didn't miss them that much, did I? I had someone ask about this, so I thought I'd bring these out and show off this. 1 second. I just want to get this ready and then pop it into view. Where is the fucking... Okay. Because you got the... Oh my god. Did this thing break? God, this thing's a disaster. It just broke. I'm going to have to buy one. God damn, that sucks. What a piece of garbage this is. This thing's been falling apart for years now. It's Laserbeak for the Masterpiece Soundwave, and the leg just fell off. And the wing already got a broken tab on it. So I guess this will just be glued and never transform again. It really has its issues, man. But it's supposed to rotate and then flip back, and so it's broken at the rotation joint. That's nice. Thanks. Thanks, Takara. Anyway, that's how big that is. And I guess I can't put it back on his arm without glue. I'll need glue. Do I have glue handy? Nope. Anyway, he'll have to go into triage. But there's Laserbeak. Because someone had asked me how big these MMC tapes are compared to Soundwave and the other tapes. So for example, this is Laserbeak, the MMC Laserbeak. And now everything's too dim, so I guess I'll change the camera again. But this is the MMC Laserbeak, and you can see it's quite a bit bigger than the Masterpiece. And as you can imagine, he will not fit in the Soundwave. Because someone's like, I have to get those for my Soundwave. And I'm like, you're in for a surprise. So here's Ravage. And Mini Ravage. I guess I could tilt this down a little bit. There you go. And then there's Rumble or Frenzy, depending on which way you want to go with it. I think most people agree that's Rumble. No, Frenzy. People seem to think that's Frenzy. But I don't know. I think the original toy was Rumble is red, and that's the mnemonic. And so then the cartoon, they decided that they'd reverse them. And most people go by the cartoon thing, but I tend to think of Rumble as red. So, sue me. But you can see that they're much bigger than their counterparts. And the best way I could describe these guys is they turn into what would essentially be like mini cassettes. Like if you had one of those mini cassette recorders. Maybe some of you are too young to remember what the hell that is, but take my word for it. Because he's about the size, his cavity here is about the size of a mini cassette. And then these guys actually transform into full-sized cassettes, which is cool. I really like that idea. But some of them kind of look good compared to Soundwave. Like this guy kind of scales to Soundwave better than, this guy's just tiny. But Laserbeak's a little off because, this Laserbeak, before he broke, can fit on the arm of Soundwave, which is nice. And this Laserbeak would look a little odd trying to sit on the arm of Soundwave. So that's the scale of those guys. Yeah, I'm going to Transformer Hell for getting Roller wrong. I'm sorry. Do I have any alternators? Let me just tell you, I have all the alternators. Well, not every recolor, but I have a lot of alternators. I don't know. I don't much like the alternators. Maybe someday I'll get so desperate for material that I'll do alternators. Yeah, except when you bought the toy back in the day, Rumble was red and Frenzy was blue. I'm a toy guy, not a cartoon guy. That is the eternal debate. That and, I have issues with people's usage of first party, third party. What they're doing is nonsensical. But I don't know. If everyone pronounces nuclear, then I guess eventually that's how it's pronounced, even though it's wrong. So the whole community is using first party, second party, third party wrong. But at least they're being consistently wrong. I don't want to get into that, though. Yeah, I have all the alternators. I might be missing a recolor or two. But I have all the molds. And I have some of the recolors. You like MP Soundwave? I'm not going to do much with them. I was just showing the scale comparison with the MMC tapes. I really like the MMC tapes. They're super sweet. I hope they make more. I'd love to have an MMC Rat Bat. Where's my Rat Bat at? And of course, it would be nice if they did like the Autobot tapes too. They might have done the Lion, but it's like in limited release. Thoughts on MP, RC, and Tigatron? Well, I tend to get all the MPs from Takara, so I suppose I'll get a Tigatron. I just haven't rushed out to pre-order it yet. I just can't decide because, I mean, Tigatron, it's almost the same transformation as Cheetor, and I'm not that big a Beast Wars fan. I'm a fan of like molds of designs, like transformation designs, but I'm not necessarily a completist when it comes to every kind of like recolor or remold that comes out. I mean, Tigatron has some significant differences. Like the head on the chest is actually the head of the tiger instead of being a faux head like Cheetor. It's bigger. I don't know. I might get that, but I'll for sure get the RC. Even though like she has like old lady boobs, like the RC, like I feel like her chest should be a little higher, and for some reason it's like just way too low. But then you see it from other angles, and like it's not. I mean, you see like a little articulation hinge at the top of the chest. It almost looks like it could lift up. But with it in the lower position, it actually does like the sculpting lines up with her sides and stuff. So I think that's how they intended to do it. But it just kind of surprised me because Takara is usually so slavish about getting it to look exactly like the cartoon. And in the cartoon, RC's boobs aren't hanging down by her waist. So I don't know what's going on there. Is there a way I can show you my alternators collection? I don't have a good way to do that. I can't go mobile with my camera. I don't have a good way to do that. I'm sorry. Well, Tigatron is a heavy remold of Cheetor. Again, because it doesn't have a faux head. It just has a real head. So the head doesn't have to go inside the chest like Cheetor. It just folds down and becomes the chest. There's a lot of differences. Maybe enough to warrant me getting it. I can't get too enthusiastic about it. I wasn't super excited about Cheetor in the first place, and to have a remold, an oversized remold of Cheetor, I don't know if I'm super excited about that, but I will get the RC. Poor Laserbeak. I mean, he's been falling apart for years. He's got, I don't know if you can see it on camera here, but the classic where the plastic split around a rod. So I don't know if you can see on this side the plastic is complete, and on this side it's broken off around the rod. So this wing is kind of loose, and the other rod, the matching rod here on this side, because it's just, you know, it's two rods in a row. This one's actually got cracked plastic. I mean, the thing's falling apart. And so now I got to track down like one of those KO laser beaks so that I can just have a laser beak that's not broken. Fortunately, they're not too rare, so I'll be able to find it. I mean, when I glue him together, he'll be Laserbeak, but he just won't ever transform again. There's a fan consensus going around that the MPRC boobs are mistransformed. See, that's what I was saying. Let's go to the tape. Let me see if I can find it. Takara MPRC. Let's find them pictures. Images. Safe search is on strict, so there's not going to be any hideous surprises if I do this. I just got to find a good picture of the... What is her number? 51? Tigatron is 50? There we go. MP51RC. Perfect. Here's a side view. Let's switch to the display capture. So you see in the side view, her arm's kind of covering it up, but there's like a bit of white trim that's on her side, and there's nothing to indicate that articulates at all. Like, this is the way it is. So this white trim actually does line up with the bottom of her front piece, and so that would imply that the thing hanging that far down is the way it's supposed to be. I don't know if this picture, I'm totally getting this Firebird. That is a sexy RC. But the Takara one is here. That's a bad picture, though. Is there a better picture of the front of her? Yeah, here's one. So, again, the white lines right up here. The white is perfectly lined up with the piece in this position. But by the same token, look how big her collar is. And there's like this little flap here, it almost suggests that it's like one of those travel hinges where you can flip the chest up. I mean, there's indentations in the chest that seem to accommodate the arms. So it's almost like the chest should be higher, but then the sides wouldn't line up quite the way they do. But if you look at the animation model, it's a real small picture, I'm sorry. But the animation model, it does show the sides lining up the way you expect. But her collar is really short. Like it's just a little thin white collar. Whereas the MPRC, getting back to her, the collar is like way too tall. So oh good, bigger. So it almost looks like the chest could travel up a little bit and you'd still have the short collar that you're supposed to have. And the boobs wouldn't be old lady boobs hanging down. I don't know. It's, did this just open a new window? Handy. Okay, so any other pictures that we can refer to? For some reason, this is what DuckDuckGo's image search seems to think MP51RC is. Interesting. Here's like a design page. See, in this one, the chest is like just below these two triangles in her collar. I don't know if this is official, though. I don't even know what this is. Just a fan drawing or something, maybe. And if we go back to the... Yeah, she's got two long spikes on her collar, and they do line up with the chest. But for some reason, they made the collar taller. Maybe it all makes sense when we actually have her in hand, and like maybe the transformation is just like a little compromise they had to make the transformation smoother. I don't know. They pack an awful lot of stuff in that backpack. Takara has a real maybe bad habit of relying too much on backpacks to hide away bits. You know, you see a Takara design and you think, man, I wonder what Unique Toys would have done with that, because Unique Toys knows how to hide stuff. But that's RC. We'll see. What are we saying? Did you shoot the MMC cassettes, or are you waiting? I shot the MMC cassettes. Way to follow my channel. Way to follow my channel, guy. You want to go look for that. No, Laserbeak wasn't dropped, but I think, I don't know. It's just, it's flawed, maybe a manufacturing defect. I didn't even know the leg was an issue. I knew the wing was falling apart, the arm. I had the legs plugged in, one of the legs plugged into this clear tab that you have, because it'll actually fit, you can actually fit them on there. So he can perch on Soundwave's chest. So I kind of liked having him look at his little buddy's Laserbeak. I don't know. I don't know why the leg just fell off just there, but apparently it wore out, because the way it's supposed to work is there's a pin that goes into the leg and the foot rotates and then folds back. And so what happened is the leg where the pin is came apart around the pin. Let's see there. So it's not a... I mean, I could probably glue it and maybe it would still transform. It'd be a little iffy though, because whenever you have to glue something, it's kind of the beginning of the end. Maybe some sort of maybe if I get like a double epoxy. I don't have a lot of space to work with there. I'll try super glue and see where it gets me. It's just kind of sad. I don't transform them that much anymore, so I probably won't bother tracking down a third party, but yeah, RC has a good set of hips on her, doesn't she? Oh, here's another picture. Look how much they packed into that backpack, though. It's almost embarrassing. It's like the whole car. The car's got nice proportions, though. I mean, she's going to be better than fans' toys no matter what. I guess that's damning with faint praise, but I don't know. I don't know. Guess we don't know until Takara images get released. MPRC has the best thighs. Yeah, but I mean, hold on. You can't go wrong with this one, though. That's a nice bigger picture. Thanks. Look at that. No, some people get all uptight, you know, like, you shouldn't have Transformers be hypersexualized like that. But I don't know. It's pretty hot. Pretty cool looking figure. I've got that on pre-order, but I don't know when it comes out. Should be pretty soon. But it's got some back kibble to it. They've posed her in such a way that they hide it in this view, but that's fun. That's an interesting figure. They also have like a weird... Firebird Toys also has like this weird little combiner that they're making with like these little cutesy girls that combine into... I don't know what it's called. Let's just see. Firebird Toys combiner. I'm not sure about these guys. I haven't seen... I can't find a picture of them. I might have missed them. I don't see them. I think Show Z had it, though. I know. It's sad. Yeah, they had the combiner here. It's a weird little set. There's like a leg figure, a torso figure, and then one figure that forms the arms and another figure that forms the head. And you can see some of the other ones have been showcased as separate items. So you get this little chibi chick. She looks like she turns into the head of the combiner. It's a weird, weird little figure. And then there's the two legs, I think. But they only have like those kinds of pictures so far. Funny little figures. Who's my favorite up here? My favorite? I really like the Ravage. The way the Ravage transforms is like interesting. You have to kind of do two things at the same time. You have to kind of rotate. You'll see in the stop motion video I totally have already. People. Where are the Megs? I don't know. Alright, I will try Gorilla Glue. Is that a better glue than just regular old super glue? I'll give it a try. I need something really strong because, I mean, the leg has to fold right at that point where it broke. Like, it has to fold right there. That's a challenge. Maybe I'll go get some Gorilla Glue. Weirdly enough, I haven't lost a pin in the foot, but I lost a pin in the jetpack. I wonder if a problem with the pins itself. Yeah, the pins might have been too big. I don't know. Like I said, the wings starting to fall apart. This one, yeah, this one's bad. So it's hard to see. I don't have a way to zoom in, but I'm trying to figure out where the focus point is here. I don't know. That's too bright, but you can see the piece of plastic is missing from above the pin. And then with my eye, I can see there's like a hairline crack around this pin, but you can't see it on camera. I don't know. I can't. This isn't a macro camera. It won't actually focus close enough. Oh, well, I mean, I thought I was going to do like a Megs. I thought I was going to do like Make Toys Megatron because that was a while back. But then I decided to do Earthrise Prime because it was more topical. And so the live stream you will find tends to be about the thing I just did a stop motion of. So I might get back to... there's something happened with my Make Toys Megs that made me think, I better just leave this thing alone. What was it? It's very loose. I was having trouble imagining how I was going to get it to hold its position cleanly. And, you know, it was like my first video. I don't know that I need to reshoot it. I don't even know what I'm shooting this Sunday. I mean, maybe I'll just get the Studio Series long haul out of the way. It's not very complicated, but it's going to be like a 30-second video, but I was trying to do all of those. What do I hate and what do I like about Earthrise Optimus? Well, I mean, I like the fact that he's kind of a premium Voyager figure. Like, he doesn't have hollow bits when he's in robot mode. I mean, you can see some stuff here. But his robot mode is very clean. And, everything is... There's no hollow bits, like on the insides of the thighs. He's not... I mean, if you compare him with a Grapple... Grapple's just hollow all over the place because he's like, an actual Voyager figure. But, you pay $30 for a figure. You can't expect to get a figure that doesn't have a bunch of hollow crap all over it. In fact, I have Earthrise Grapple here, I think, just to compare him. So here's what you get for $30. It's just hollow all over the place. Everything's hollow. The foot is hollow. The inside of the thigh is hollow. The inside of the arms is hollow. There's not like a panel to cover the fist. The fist just flips in. Hollow upper arm. Hollow, 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 hollow. Hollow. Here's what you get for $30. So Earthrise Prime is nice. Maybe not for the money, though, because you're paying leader price for this thing, and you get a nice Voyager figure, like almost an old school, properly, held together with actual screws and stuff Voyager figure, although it's still got the snap-on wheels that I hate. But then they try to soften the blow by giving you this garbage trailer, and it's stupid. It's not really worth the money, but it's a real nice Voyager figure. It's just an expensive Voyager figure. I really like how the truck panels all roll up the way they do, so we'll get back to that here. Just want to do the hands first. And we do this one. Then we flip them out the side. And we flip this down. And we open up this. And then we flip out the head. And then we close this thing. And then we look on this side. So, you get to do the roll up, which is clever. Because they end up with a lot of stuff hidden in the chest. But, getting back to a point I don't like, they hid all that stuff in the chest, and then they didn't know what to do with the wheels, so he's got bumper butt. He's got wheels on his back for some reason. Like most Earthrise, I mean, even Grapple's nicely articulated. So the articulation's nice on this. So my favorite thing is the way the chest rolls up, and my least favorite thing is how they put the wheels on his back. Yeah. I think I'll get Ocular Max Azalea if I ever desire an RC. Best alt mode, best transformation, best proportions. Yeah, they probably should do Kiss Player. The Azalea is my favorite one. I did a stop... Fazbear probably doesn't know that I did a stop motion of Azalea. But I really like Azalea. She's really well done. I mean, she might be better than the Takara one, but I'll have to see. They did a really good job of minimizing her back kibble, Azalea. I mean, she's got some, but I think they did a good way of stacking it inside itself. I love how her legs kind of fold in half, but there's panels that cover up the fold point, which is nice. Good figure. I really like the entire Ocular Max line for me is like the alternative to Takara, like a supplement to a Takara, because I think they're doing the best job of doing MP style figures for G1. So I really like Ocular Max. I tend to just get Ocular Max when I want to fill in my G1 line. So like my Trailblazer is Ocular Max, and my Azalea is Ocular Max, and I'm sure I have something else by Ocular Max. I just can't remember. And then Ravage is dead now because I dropped him. I'm just going to put Earthrise Prime back front and center So YouTube maybe picks that for the poor little broken rose beak. Oh wait, here's some super glue right here. I said I was going to try out the Gorilla Glue, but you know what? I'm just going to try out the super glue. Since I got it right here. Just got to be careful not to... Yeah, I can see why this broke. It's a really tight joint. Ouch. Huh. Yeah, you can fold it, but whoo. Yeah, I worry about any glue being able to handle the folding. So maybe I'll just commit to just having it be non-transforming, and at least he can have two legs instead of having one leg. It's like I managed to get it to fold, and now it won't fold back. That's a bummer. Watch Peerless Drew try to fix his figure live. Okay, I got it to fold back. Now at least I can glue it, and he can kind of have just a little bit. And then we put this on. And then we hold it. And then I'll read my comments while I hold this. I've seen the Azalea video, pretty good engineering. Okay. So you do watch some of my other videos. Also, side note, MP Rumble looks fat against the black background. Yeah. He is actually pretty darn skinny. Like his legs are skinny. But then his arms are kind of fat. Yeah. They were trying to be complicated, but in the same scale as Soundwave. Laserbeak will just stay up here for a little while. He can be my desk buddy while he recuperates. I don't know that Takara ever sends parts. Besides, you wouldn't be able to take this apart to replace the parts. You'd be better off sourcing a new Laserbeak. I mean, I'm sure there's like KO. I know I got a KO rat bat because I didn't want to buy another Soundwave to get a rat bat. And someone manufactured and sold a KO rat bat. So KOMP Laserbeak. Let's see. Does anyone sell one? I don't know. Sir Toys has a lot of KOs. Let's see if they got it. Let's see if they got a Laserbeak. No items found. Anyway, I could probably source it, but I still have the buzzsaw if I wanted to enjoy the transformation. For some reason, that one's not falling apart. But the Laserbeak is. Let's see. Careful, I once used super glue to reattach classic Bumblebee's chest. Optimus Primal then broke into my house and forced me to use Gorilla Glue. Okay. I mean, MP Laserbeak, they actually went to the trouble of having the little like head camera that can pop up. I can't get it up right now. Oh, that's what she said. But it actually does have the little head camera. Poor little Laserbeak. But that joint won't... You wouldn't be able to transform it ever again anyway, so he can stay glued and never transform again. What is my favorite Masterpiece Bumblebee and why? Well, okay, all right. That's an interesting... I thought it was a pretty simple question at first, but... G1, I would say my favorite is the newest one. Now, some people will be like, oh my God. But the newest one really presents well from the front. It looks exactly like the proportions in the cartoon. And the first MP Bumblebee, MP 30, whatever it was, it didn't quite have the proportions right. Although there's some things about its transformation that I think is clever. So G1, my favorite MP would be that. MPM, the movie MPs, the original like MPM3 Bumblebee is my favorite because it looks exactly like the movie. Because it had been a few years since the movie, so when they made the toy, they could make it look exactly like the movie. Whereas MPM7, they got ahead of themselves and they made it look like what it was gonna look like in the movie. And then the movie changed their minds, and it was too late for them to change their minds. So MPM7, it's clever. It has a lot of fun features to it, but it's not accurate because they were too greedy. They jumped in too quick. The whole MPM line was supposed to be, okay, now years later, here's a MP, a masterpiece sort of representation of these figures that have established designs. Maybe they'll resist the urge to do that. Now that they've had time to think about it, what I'd like is an MPM Bumblebee Optimus Prime. Now, I realize Toy World has one. I think I have it on pre-order. But I just think the MPM line could do a pretty good job with it. So I'd like to see one. Which one is that? You have to be really much more specific because your comment comes in like almost a minute after I've been talking about something. So which one is that is not a clear enough comment. Wow, we've been at this for 46 minutes now. I'm running out of things to say. It's almost time for me to go have dinner. Whew. Favorite movie masterpiece figure? Okay, there's a good question. I'd say the favorite one is... My favorite official movie masterpiece would be Prime. I think Prime has a lot of clever transformation steps. They really did a good job, especially since they didn't have to put a gimmick like the Revenge of the Fallen Leader Prime is a great figure, but it has that mech tech gimmick, and so that kind of takes up space. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but my favorite G1 Bumblebee masterpiece is the new one, MP40. See, 51, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, MP45? I think it's MP45. The MP45 Bumblebee. I'm talking about that one. That one right there. I have problems with the way they managed some of his panels, and they hid them on the back of his feet, and his backpack looks like garbage. But from the front, he's really clean. And he turns into like the fat little car like I remember from my childhood instead of a realistic Volkswagen. Now, the original MP Bumblebee is fine. It's just I don't quite like him as much. There's the original one. MPM 7 is okay, but isn't movie accurate. And of course, MPM 3 is my favorite movie accurate MPM Bumblebee. I hope that makes it clear. Yeah, like the new Bumblebee looks like Bumblebee, at least, directly from the front. From the side, he's a bit of a mess. I feel like Takara could have done a better job with that, but I like that he turns into like the fat car. That's fun. Yes, there is a movie masterpiece Starscream in the works, and that's totally awesome. Granted, the old, I guess also Revenge of the Fallen leader Starscream was a great figure. In fact, they made that that's like MP. That's like the MPM 2, I think, is Starscream. Like the leader Starscream is already an MPM figure because they just kind of repackaged him as MPM. But yes, they are making a new MPM Starscream, and I hope they make it awesome. I kind of like Starscream. He looks like a weird goon. But you are right, they are making one of those. They're also making a Ratchet, from what I hear, and he's kind of underrepresented. They made like a leader Ironhide, another Revenge of the Fallen leader. That's a cool figure. Never got around to shooting it, but I could. Maybe that's what I'll do next week. I'll shoot the old leader class. It's the only leader class I haven't done from Revenge of the Fallen. But there's never been a leader-sized Ratchet. There was a Voyager-sized Ratchet, and it was kind of bad. It was from the first movie. There was a deluxe-sized Ratchet that was pretty clever, but too small. So I've heard they're going to do an MPM Ratchet, and I really hope they do. I love posability, but I prefer the old MP Bumble because I think a backpack that looks messy from every angle except the front defeats the purpose of being superposable. Yeah. It's not a wrong point of view. I just picked the recent one because he looks more like Bumblebee and he turns into the fat car, which I think is fun. Yeah, tracks and track/road rage. I like that mold, but I think I'm biased a bit because that's my favorite Corvette. Like if someone said, "Here's $50,000, you go buy yourself a car for fun." You have to buy some bullshit sports car. I would buy like an old like 1979 Corvette. I like that look. Maybe someone who's owned a 1979 Corvette would be like, it's a shit car. You don't want it, but it looks cool. I like it. Do I have a favorite Marvel character? Goodness gracious. I don't know. You talking about like from the comics and stuff or from the movies? I'll wait till you answer. Yeah, movie masterpiece Ratchet. It would be perfect. It would be the same scale as the Ironhide, and it would be Ratchet. They need to honor that character. Even though they killed him off. Of course, they killed off Ironhide, too. Almost pointlessly. Like, offhand. They were like, here, you're dead, Ironhide. Fuck off. Yeah, Corvette with wings and missiles. What more could you want? Trax was one of my favorite. I mean, I guess I've always liked that Corvette. So Trax has always been one of my favorites because he turns into my favorite Corvette. Apparently MPM-1 was also a Starscream. Okay, so maybe I have it backwards. MPM-1 and MPM-2 were Starscream, and the Ultimate Bumblebee was one of the MPMs. MPM Transformers. We'll go to the Google. The Transformers Masterpiece. Did they mention the MPM line here? Where the MPM line at? Here we go. Movie Masterpiece. Bam. Yeah, okay. So 1 was Starscream, was that leader Starscream, and 2 was sold in retail as the Ultimate Bumblebee. Did they mention that? They don't. Of course, I think I just clicked on the file. Oh, can I just have the... There we go. Masterpiece Movie Series Bumblebee is a redeco of Battle Ops Bumblebee, which is a pretty cool Bumblebee, actually. His articulation was a little limited because he had the fist coming out of the cannon gimmick. And he had a lot of electronic gimmicks, you can see. But that was MPM-2. And then MPM-3 was the official MPM Bumblebee, which has a really clever way of hiding away the flat panels inside his torso, which is nice. MPM-4 is nice. I mean, they're all pretty good. I didn't get Megatron. Chosen Prime loaned them to me so I could shoot them, but I don't like them. I don't like things that turn into things that you can't even recognize. It's just a pile of plastic. Not very appealing to me. But I've heard like MPM 10 and 11 are going to be Starscream and Ratchet, but I'm not quite sure what order they're going to be in. Comics. My favorite comics Marvel character. I always like Rogue. There you go. Rogue. I mean, who doesn't like Wolverine? You know? Rogue. I liked Rogue. But I might have just had a crush on Rogue. I can't tell. I mean, I was reading those comics when I was like 13, so. Is there an MP1? Well, sure. MP1 is the back to the internet. MP1 was the original like giant 30th anniversary masterpiece figure. Look at last week's live stream. I did a comparison of him and some of the other primes. But he was real big. He didn't actually come with a trailer. I think there was like a third-party trailer that people that got sold, or I don't know. They keep showing him pictures with trailer, but he didn't come with a trailer. But he was huge. Big old guy. That was one. And then 2 was the same mold, but white. So Ultra Magnus version of that mold. And then 3 was the original Starscream mold. And then 4 was the... maybe this one actually came with a trailer. Looks like it did. So this is still the same like MP1 mold. MP5 was Megatron, which was awful. MP6 and 7 were just updated or recolors for the Starscream one. 8 was Grimlock. I have that. He's kind of loosey-goosey. I've never really thought about doing him. Back when I got MP9, I got the Hasbro version, which only came with the car. It didn't come with the Winnebago parts. And I always kind of regret that. I wish I had the Winnebago parts. Because I've actually transformed the car into the mode that it needs to be in to attach the Winnebago parts, but I don't have the Winnebago parts, so it kind of makes me sad. But I don't like it so much that I'm going to go back and do it. Or, source it. MP10 Convoy. MP12 Lambor, probably my favorite early MP. I mean, it's a Lamborghini. Who doesn't like Lamborghinis? But those are the MPs. So there was an MP1, to answer your question. Remember when Hasbro made Marvel character transformers that turned into vehicles? Yeah, I have them all. I have all of the crossovers. And their articulation on them is terrible. The hip joints were like octagons. And so your choices were the legs perfectly straight or the legs like splayed way out too far. So you'd have to kind of like chase that in between, but it was hard to get them to pose properly. Their articulation was terrible on those. Those in the crossover Star Wars, which I also have all of, their posing is terrible on those. Probably the best one, the best crossover Marvel figure was the... I really liked the one that turned into Venom. Venom and also Captain America were pretty good. Yeah, I have all of them. Maybe there's some like obscure recolors I don't have, but I have all the molds. I chase the molds. I have quite a few. I could have like a little museum, but I have no way for people to get to my museum or to pay to be in my museum. Yeah, I have the fighter jet Iron Man, sure. I have all of them. They're packed up somewhere because I don't much like them. That's the sickness I have. I have things that I don't like. What is my favorite car? Well, I said it's a 1979 Corvette Stingray. I like that. Crossover's Hulk. Yeah, he turned into a tank. That wasn't bad. I liked him too. And then there was a couple of different Spider-Mans, so you'd almost have to say which one you're talking about, because there's one turned into like a helicopter, and maybe one that turned into like a motorcycle or car. I can't remember. Wide stance, LOL, fine now. You all get stored in the full Van Damme. Oh, the Van Damme. You mean like... Let me spell it for you. What about the Human Torch one? Yeah, I got all of them. Let's see if we can find pictures. Marvel crossover Transformers. Transformers crossovers. Transformers Wiki. Transformers Wiki, so helpful. This is like an advertisement for them. Let's see. I don't think I had this color of the Spider-Man. I had that guy. 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 That was actually one of the better Star Wars ones. But let's see if they have them listed here. Marvel. Let's see. Captain America, Carnage, Iron Man, Thor. Let's see. Yep, I had that Captain America. I mean, I have. I don't think I got Carnage because he was just a recolor of... I don't think I have Carnage. Yeah, but I have that jet version of Iron Man. I don't think I got the recolor there. I have this one that kind of combines with the other one. That's weird. But I had it. Yeah, they had a couple of different recolors of stuff. I don't have a lot of these recolors, but I have each mold, generally. This one was fun, kind of fun, because it turned into an A-10 Warthog, and it turned into Thor. But you can see, even in this picture, they had to pose him with his legs really spread apart, because the hips are so garbage. Spider-Man, Wolverine, Hulk, Spider-Man, Wolverine. Yeah, I got the motorcycle Spider-Man. I got the helicopter Spider-Man. I got this car Spider-Man. I don't have the flip up ones. This Wolverine is basically, if I remember correctly, he's just like the Captain America. I think. I don't know. This was kind of fun because it turned into a crazy tank. That's pretty cool. And there's all the Spider-Mans again. There's all the Wolverines again. Anyway, I had a lot of them. Most of the individual molds I had. Wow, that was kind of a weird. Yeah, it's like a tank. The crossover Hulk is like kind of a tank. Van Damme, I can't spell. Why the heck is Yoda a Republic shuttle? I don't know. Why do they do anything? I kind of liked how big his head was, though. You know, he had a big lumpy head that went inside the shuttle. I just remember him being my favorite one because of the way he transformed. Mostly because of his big giant head. So many Transformers, they're kind of pinheads, you know. They get little tiny heads so the head can get stowed away. I was almost tempted. There was a figure that was the last night version of Megatron, you know, like the Unique Toys had Dragoon. But there was a company that had like a little chibi version of that with like a giant head and like a little body. And it actually transformed into the jet. Like the head transformed, you know. Which I kind of like. I like any figure where the head is... You know, this guy is like the opposite of what I'm talking about. The head just flips out. The head's already fully formed. But I like figures where the head gets formed in the course of transforming. All right, gang. I got to go eat dinner. I appreciate everyone coming by. And maybe I'll try to dig out the Marvel figures, but I don't remember how to transform them, so maybe we'll dig them out. Everyone have a pleasant week. Maybe comment on this video if you have anything that you think of that, like, hey, why don't you do this on Sunday? Because I don't really know what I'm going to do on Sunday. Other than, I guess, Studio Series Long Haul just to get out of the way. But it's so simple. It's going to be such a short video. Shorter than him. He was actually pretty complicated. All right. That's it. Everyone have a nice day. Excelsior, as the great Stan Lee would say. Bye-bye.